Albert Camus, life and background. Albert Camus was born in 1913 in French Algeria into a poor working-class family. His father died in World War I when Camus was only 1 year old, and he was raised by his illiterate mother and strict grandmother. Growing up in poverty had a lasting influence on him. Unlike many philosophers who lived sheltered academic lives, Camus experienced hardship firsthand. Despite this, he was an excellent student and earned a scholarship to study philosophy. In his early 20s, Camus was diagnosed with tuberculosis, a disease that frequently brought him close to death. This constant awareness of mortality deeply shaped his thinking about life, meaning, and human fragility. During World War I, Camus joined the French Resistance, working as an editor for an underground newspaper. It was during this period that many of his most important ideas began to take shape. Major works of Albert Camus. Camus expressed his philosophy primarily through literature, not academic philosophy. His most famous novel, The Stranger, 1942, tells the story of Meursault, a man who seems emotionally detached from the world and is condemned more for his indifference than his crime. The novel shocked readers and became a defining text of modern literature. Another major work, The Myth of Sisyphus, is a philosophical essay where Camus introduces his core idea, the absurd. In The Plague, Camus explores human suffering, solidarity, and moral responsibility through the story of a town devastated by disease, often interpreted as an allegory for fascism and war. Other important works include The Rebel, where Camus examines revolution, violence, and moral limits, and several powerful plays that explore human freedom and justice. Camus, philosophy, the absurd. At the center of Camus, philosophy is the absurd. The absurd arises from a conflict. Humans desperately seek meaning, purpose, and clarity. The universe offers silence, randomness, and indifference. This clash creates the absurd. Camus famously asked, "Should I commit suicide?" For him, this was the most serious philosophical question. If life has no meaning, why continue? Camus rejected suicide. He argued that ending one's life is a way of escaping the problem, not confronting it. Instead, Camus proposed rebellion. To live authentically is to accept the absurd without resignation, to live fully despite the lack of meaning. He used the myth of Sisyphus, condemned to roll a rock up a hill for eternity, as a symbol of human life. Camus concludes, "One must imagine Sisyphus happy." Happiness for Camus comes from defiance, awareness, and freedom, not hope for a higher meaning. Camus versus existentialism. Although Camus is often labeled an existentialist, he rejected the title. Unlike thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre, Camus did not believe we create meaning that replaces the absurd. Instead, he believed we must live with the tension, never resolving it. This disagreement led to a famous philosophical break between Camus and Sartre. Camus emphasized moral limits, opposing political violence and totalitarian ideologies, even when justified by revolutionary goals. Impact on life and modern thought. Albert Camus' philosophy continues to resonate today, especially in a world marked by uncertainty, anxiety, and crisis. His ideas speak to people struggling with meaning, those facing suffering or injustice, anyone questioning success, happiness, or purpose. Camus teaches us that life doesn't need ultimate meaning to be valuable. Courage lies in continuing despite uncertainty. Kindness, honesty, and rebellion against injustice matter. In 1957, Camus won the Nobel Prize in Literature, praised for illuminating the problems of the human conscience. He died tragically in a car accident in 1960 at the age of 46, but his ideas remain powerfully alive. Albert Camus reminds us that even in a meaningless universe, life can be lived with dignity, passion, and rebellion, not because it makes sense, but because we choose to live it anyway. If you enjoyed this exploration of history and philosophy, consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching.